Hi everyone, Grace here, and I would like to share with everyone the history of masks, how they first come by, and some exciting moments where masks received more and more user and importance. First, let us go back in time. Zoroastrianism is one of the early religions born in the Middle East around the 6th century BC. The ancient Persians who believed in Zoroastrianism believed that the air that they breathed out was unclean and vulgar, that it would contaminate the holy fire, so they had to wrap their face with a cloth when carrying out religious ceremonies. Zoroastrianism still exists today, although their numbers are small compared to other religions. The picture here shows how they do their ceremony, always with the face cover. This is one of the earliest times where humanity utilizes a face cover to prevent contamination, but not for medical purpose. Jumping forward around 1275 to 1368, emperors ruled over the Yuan dynasty in China. When the court officials in the Yuan dynasty presented food to the emperor, they are required to wear masks to avoid spitting and contaminating the food. It is necessary because an emperor during that time is the most important person in the whole kingdom, and the emperors expected their food to be very clean, and everyone believed that an emperor should receive the best treatment. In the picture, you can see that servants are covering their faces with something similar to the Zoroastrianism practicer. Apparently, although not practiced, they knew about Zoroastrianism during this time. This is one of the earliest times where humanity wore a mask to prevent contamination that would affect another person's health. During this time, the concept of disease prevention existed already, but only for the most crucial person in the country. Moving forward, in the 1440s, a pandemic was rampant in Europe, causing a 50% drop in Europeans. This pandemic is called the Black Death. It is the worst pandemic that has ever happened since medicine has not been discovered yet. The medical knowledge is still very primitive, but the concept of prevention existed, and to facilitate the treatment and defense of the virus, the French doctor Charles Delorme invented an isolation kit, the most notable of which is the big mask, or most of us know it as the plague mask. These masks, made in a shape of wigs, are filled with delicate spices or fragrant plants to block the smell of corpses and, to a certain extent, the spread of virus. Mask is only used by doctors, and this is the earliest time where humanity wore a face cover to protect themselves from getting infected by a disease, and at the same time filtering bad smells. Although the mask has a long history, it is not until the end of the 19th century where the mask has truly become a professional medical tool. After Louis Pasteur and others discovered the bacteria, the surgical instruments had a procedure for disinfection with carbolic acid. It was not until 1985 that Jane, a Polish surgeon, discovered that airborne pathogens could infect wounds and believed that bacteria saliva when people spoke also caused wounds to deteriorate. Therefore, he recommended that doctors and nurses wear a gauze mask that covered the mouth and nose during the surgery. This was indeed effective, and the wound infection rate of patients was significantly reduced. Since then, doctors from various countries have adopted this practice. As a result, masks has gradually become popular and popularized in European medical community. especially for surgical procedures. This is the time where humanity utilized a face mask to prevent contamination in a highly professional medical field. After its medical breakthrough in surgical practice, masks have always been regarded as doctors' patients. They have nothing to do with ordinary people. Everything changes during the Spanish flu pandemic. From 1918 to 1919, the pandemic was terrible that it caused so many deaths. It was discovered that the virus spread quickly when people talk or cough, so the use of face cover is enforced not only for the doctors but also for the public. Everyone is required to wear a mask everywhere in order to contain the spread, and it did help a lot. This is the time where masks become something that the public would wear and not only the people in the medical field. It is the time where the mask is utilized to prevent the mass spreading of the virus amongst the people and the community. During the First Industrial Revolution, coal has been used as the core fuel. After the Second World War, the United Kingdom was full of waste. Actively developing industry and a large number of factories were started. However, the burning of large amount of coal has increased urban pollution. The high concentration of sulfur dioxide and the dust mist make a large number of people suffer from respiratory diseases such as bronchitis and tuberculosis. This severe environmental pollution is also known as the London Fog event. People at that time were forced to wear masks in their lives because of the air pollution. At that time in London, whenever the spring and the fall comes, it was often surrounded in thick fog, like a mysterious veil. According to statistics at that time, foggy days in London can be as high as 7 or 8 times a year, with an average of 1 foggy day out of 5. Whenever the fog comes, the diffuse fog not only affects traffic and cause accidents, but also directly endangers people's health and even threatens people's lives. The picture shows the people traveling in masks. This is a time where people utilize masks to protect themselves from air pollution. The mask will filter out the air so that they will not be breathing in dust particles. Now we see that masks throughout history has been used to prevent disease, contamination, pollution, and many others. There is another way that masks is being used, especially around the Asian countries. Yes, mask as a fashion statement. Instead of just as a protection, two people utilize masks to add styles to their outfits. Some use a mask to cover up poor hairs or pimples, and some even use a mask to prevent people from just looking at their "I just wake up" face. Sometimes famous people will wear a mask when they go outside to hide from their fans so that they could get some time for themselves. There are so many things a mask can do, and the history is pretty interesting, right? From religious reason to fashion statements. Which of the usage you think is the most exciting way to use a mask? Thank you everyone for watching my short presentation about mask history. I hope you find this informative and interesting. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and leave us a like. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Details in the video description below. Stay safe and healthy.